Welcome to Cybercast, decoding today's cyber issues. I'm your host, Kate Macri. This special episode looks back at our Women Tech Leaders event and how women in federal IT are working to solve the cybersecurity workforce shortage. According to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, there are upwards of 500,000 unfilled cybersecurity jobs across public and private sectors, which CISA deems a national security risk. Last year, CISA and the Department of Homeland Security's Science and Technology Directorate awarded the Critical Infrastructure Resilience Institute $2 million to train the next generation of cybersecurity professionals. In June, U.S. Senators Maggie Hassan and John Cornyn introduced the Federal Cybersecurity Workforce Expansion Act to the Senate. The bill would establish a cybersecurity apprenticeship program at CISA and the Department of Veterans Affairs. At Government CIO Media and Research's Women Tech Leaders event in July, women cyber leaders said women are better positioned than ever to launch successful cyber careers. Danielle Santos, who is the communications manager for the National Initiative for Cyber Education at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, said her job revolves around encouraging women and minorities to pursue cyber careers.
I think one of the main ways we can reinvigorate this group is really demystifying, focusing in on how we can demystify what cybersecurity looks like and harp on the different skills that are appreciated and can be very vital to a cybersecurity career. Because I think once we start making those connections, more and more women will see how they can be productive and be a valuable asset to the cybersecurity space.
Michelle Tuggle, a principal security analyst at Okta, said women bring a unique skill set to cyber that is otherwise missed or overlooked.
Especially for women in the cybersecurity arena, we have a level of intuitiveness that is kind of unspoken, but we know it's there. But I think as we move into the cybersecurity workforce and into those spaces, we bring that intuitiveness with us and that holistic approach and the ability to merge the two.
Santos said, sometimes all it takes to prompt someone to pursue cyber is a conversation.
By being able to define those roles, it helps people understand where they might fit into the career. And based off of the framework that we've built, we've been able to see these tools that people can use, things that help people navigate through their career in cybersecurity, and shows them if they're going to start in one place, what might it take to get to the next role in my career and advance in my career and build up my skills. So I think that's kind of how it's being used in a positive light to help people understand their career path and get into it.
Jothi Dugar, CISO for the Center for Information Technology at NIH, said cyber requires soft skills, not just technical skills, something women tend to be pretty good at.
It doesn't require you just to have the technical skills. It's actually everything else that you bring to the table, your soft skills, your ability to multitask, to problem solve. Especially if you're a working mom, you're already problem solving on a daily basis, probably 24 hours a day. And you're also multitasking. And then you kind of have to do that. So it's the same thing in cyber as well. But it's also your other creative skills. If there's a problem and there's really no easy fix to it, moms and women in general are just wired to just, okay, well, let's see what else we can do. Let's just let's just figure out and then how to solve the problem in an amicable way, to collaborate, to work with each other, not, putting each other down. But also, I was actually going to tie cybersecurity with marriages if you and relationship development, because it's all about building those relationships. Communication, as Michelle said, is key in a relationship, right? You have to be able to communicate your needs and wants. It's the same thing in cybersecurity. It's not your personal needs that you're communicating, but you have to communicate the need, the value of cyber to other stakeholders that may not quite understand. And you have to work with them. You have to collaborate with them. You can't just say, well, I don't like this person, so I'm just not going to worry about them. Like, well, you kind of have to work with a variety of different roles. So it's very unique in that aspect where you get to work with all kinds of stakeholders. You're not just stuck with just your own manager or that pipeline. Like, you have to be able to work with different kinds of people, different mindsets, sometimes to work with adversity and be able to, put it all together. So if you're really good in relationships and relationship management, you're going to be good in cybersecurity as well, because it involves the same type of skill sets.
Tuggle echoed Dugar's point. Because cybersecurity is all about identifying threats and vulnerabilities, relaying those to management, and then tackling the problem, communication skills are vital.
It's a new mindset for a lot of people in the commercial space, but a lot of women are coming into the space bringing the skills that they have, and there are a lot more opportunities for them because they are identifying some things from a cybersecurity perspective, I think, just from a common sense perspective sometimes, that are vital to us moving into that space and teaching a workforce how to operate within this new world, this new federal world. So it's been a really, really eye-opening experience in terms of in the federal spaces. It's kind of second nature. Like Jothi says, people are like, oh yeah, that's cybersecurity. We have to do that. But in the commercial space, it's almost like, well, we didn't have to do that before, but now we have to do that. And how do we get this done? So I talk to young women all the time that are coming into our workspace, and they're like, I never knew that this existed, but it's really exciting. And even some young men, they're just like, I want to learn how to do that. I want to learn how to operate in that space because there are a lot more tentacles to it than we had before. So it's really an exciting time, I think, in the corporate world, moving into that, that federal realm and into the cybersecurity space as we know it.
As cybersecurity continues to come to the foreground of the national IT conversation, federal CIOs are increasingly prioritizing cyber strategies and cyber skills in their employees. In an exclusive interview with Government CIO Media and Research, DHS CIO Eric Heisen said cyber strategy was his number one priority as CIO. As a prominent cyber leader, cyber strategy and communication are huge for Dugar.
Pretty soon, everyone has to know something about cybersecurity and cyber safety just to live. So I think it really opens doors for women and even the younger generation, young girls as well, that, as they learn how to protect themselves and all of their assets and their information in just small ways, really the holistic view approach is going to help them not feel scared about cybersecurity or think of it as something that, this is just something that, those cyber folks have to do. When you say cybersecurity, it almost kind of rings a bell in your brain that it's like, it's just kind of optional. We don't really have to do this. But when you talk about safety and you look at the different areas out there, like vehicle safety, automobile safety, airline safety, home safety, it almost, you tend to just not take it for granted, or you tend to like, oh, no, I don't care about my safety. Most of the time, people say, oh, yeah, what do we need to do to protect ourselves? So we started calling it cyber safety. And we really started this whole initiative where we reached out to we first looked at all of our different stakeholders, like who are the stakeholders at the NIH? What are the different roles out there? And how can we group those roles together? Administrators, HR specialists, like IT specialists, like leadership, all that. And we're a hospital, or we have one of the largest hospitals in the world out there. So we have clinicians, medical staff, we have emergency staff. And we really looked at, okay, what is their interpretation? How do they think they play a role in cyber safety? And it was really an eye-opening exercise for us. Not only their role in cyber safety, but also what are their pain points? How can we understand their pain points and not take that for granted? And then how can we help them determine, how can they do their job more securely so that they can protect their data and they can protect what they're trying to do? So we're not trying to create roadblocks or just add some more complications to their existing lives, but what we're actually helping them do, or our goal was to help them realize that everyone plays a role in cyber safety. It wasn't just like the IT staff or the security staff or the CIOs. And then what we also did was we created a champion program. So just to kind of open those doors for, women, men, a diverse group of individuals that maybe wanted to learn more about cyber safety and cybersecurity, or they were fed up and had a lot of pain points that they kind of brought to the table, which is great for us to hear from the different stakeholder groups. So we started giving these champions toolkits, information, broaden their awareness, and then they acted as champions for their own institutes or centers or even their own groups to kind of take back this information and really broaden the scope of cybersecurity.
For women exploring careers in cyber, aspiring to be like Dugar, Tuggle recommends being a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all.
Be a learn-it-all. Don't be a know-it-all. Because when you know it all, there's no room for you to grow. There's no room for your intellect to grow. So always be a learn-it-all. And he looked at me and he said, that's a great point. And he said, point taken. So it's so vast that sometimes we have to sit back and just take it all in and then add all of the skills that we know on top of that. And then the things that we're learning. So if you're able to do those things, and handle two forks at one time, you're going to be totally successful in this arena, I believe.
Santos said expansion and evolution of cybersecurity also provides women with opportunities to pursue cyber-adjacent careers.
I think with the growth and expansion, the evolution of what cybersecurity is, it helps provide women more of an opportunity to get involved through related areas that they might be interested. So maybe they're not specifically interested in cybersecurity or cyberspace area, but maybe they're interested in AI, and AI definitely has components that will have need for cybersecurity. Maybe they're interested in privacy, which also has a security component to it. So I think as we become more of a digital space, we're going to see more and more opportunities for these overlaps in security and overlays of security into areas where women are already having really amazing careers.
There couldn't be a better time to pursue a cyber career. The Biden administration and federal agencies like CISA and NIST are prioritizing cybersecurity like never before, and women have a unique opportunity to dive in with support from top women cyber leaders like the ones featured in our Women Tech Leaders event. To learn more about federal cybersecurity and hear more from women leaders in federal IT, subscribe to Cybercast and check out our website at governmentciomedia.com. I'm your host, Kate Macri. Thank you for listening.
Cybercast is a production of Government CIO Media and Research. For more podcasts, head to governmentcio.com/podcasts. If you're interested in sponsoring a podcast, contact us at sponsor@governmentcio.com.